Praise the Lord, kids. The story of Samson begins because the Israelites were once again getting into trouble with God. The Israelites just could not seem to stay out of trouble for very long. Even after God saved them from Egyptian, helped them through the Red Sea, and miraculously sent manna from the sky to feed them, they still complained. Even when Moses went to get the 10 commandments, these people started worshipping another god. So, when they started misbehaving again, God decided something had to be done. So, to punish the Israelites, he put the Philistines in charge of them for 40 years. This where Samson came in. He would help free the Israelites from the Philistines. Except Samson's mom actually could not have any children. But an angel of the Lord came to her and said, "You can't have any children now, but God is going to give you a son. Make sure you don't drink any wine or eat any animal considered to be unclean. You will have a special son. He should never cut his hair, eat grapes or raisins, drink wine or touch a dead body. And most importantly, his purpose will be to save the Israelites from the Philistines." The special boy was Samson. As he grew up, he realized that he had a special gift. He was incredibly strong. As Samson got older, he was able to kill a lion with his bare hands and defend himself against 1,000 Philistines. I guess you could say Samson did not like the Philistines, and Philistines did not like the Samson. The Philistines were constantly trying to figure what the secret was behind Samson's strength. If they could figure that out, then they would get rid of him. After all, Samson had killed many Philistines. As Samson became a young man, he started to like girls. There was one girl he especially liked. Her name was Delilah. The rulers of Philistine noticed that Samson was coming to see Delilah a lot more lately. So they decided to go to Delilah and make a deal with her. Delilah was just on her way home from a walk, thinking about the next time she would see Samson, when some of the rulers of Philistine approached her. One of the men asked her, "Oh Delilah, we were wondering if you could find out what makes Samson so strong. We are so curious. If you find out, we would like to give you 5,500 pieces of silver." This was about $5,000, which was tons of money in those days. Imagine getting $100 from your parents to go buy candy. The amount of money Delilah got seemed as big as that. Delilah was just about to say no, when all of a sudden she started thinking about all the fabulous things she could buy with all that money. She really had not taken that much time to think about it when she said, "I will do it." So Delilah went home and started to think about how she could get the secret out of Samson. She thought maybe she could make his favorite dinner for him and just ask him. So Delilah got busy making a nice meal and waited for Samson to arrive. As they sat down to eat, Delilah asked how Samson's day was. And after a few minutes, she just decided to ask, Samson, could you please tell me the secret of your great strength? I guess I'm just curious and want to know how your enemies can tie you up and how you can get out so easily. Samson answered her, if anyone ties me up with 7 brand new bowstrings that have not been dried, I will become as weak as any other man. So later that night, after supper, Delilah made an excuse to go for a walk and met up with the rulers of Philistine and told them what Samson had said. They immediately went out and found 7 bowstrings to give to Delilah and told her, we want you to tie Samson up when he is asleep. Let us into your house when the coast is clear, and when you wake him up, we want to be there to capture him. So Delilah did what the men asked her to do. It was a little tricky because it took Samson a while to fall asleep. But once he was snoring, she started to tie him up. When she was done, the men came in and hid all around. And when they were ready, Delilah shouted, Samson, the Philistines are here. But without any difficulty at all, Samson snapped the strings like there was never anything around his hands. Well, Delilah felt quite silly and was a little hurt that Samson would not tell her the secret of his strength. She started to think that the Philistines would not think that she could find out the secret, and then she would not get any money. So Delilah put on her sad face and looked up Samson and said, you made a fool out of me, Samson. You lied to me. Seriously now, tell me how you can be tied. Samson said to her, if anyone ties me with new ropes that have never been used, I will become as weak as any other man. So Delilah did what she had done before and tied him up with new and improved ropes. She shouted again, Samson, the Philistines are here. But without any difficulty at all, Samson once again snapped out of the ropes like there was never anything around his hands. Delilah was getting angry, but she did not want Samson to notice. She had to make Samson think she was sad that he lied to her. Delilah put on her saddest face and said to him, oh, Samson, how could you lie to me again? Please tell me now, how can you be tied? Even though Delilah seemed sad, Samson told her another lie, and Delilah was once again made a fool of. Delilah finally said to Samson, how can you tell me you love me when you don't trust me with your thoughts and secrets? But Samson just decided to ignore her the best he could. The only problem was that Delilah would not stop asking. She asked in the morning during breakfast, when they were out for a walk, At lunch, at supper, before bed, she asked all day long, and Samson just could not take it anymore. Finally, Samson said, "Enough already. I will tell you everything. Just leave me alone. My hair has never been cut. I had to take certain vows when I was born and have been given this gift by God. If my head was shaved, I would become as weak as any other man." Delilah could tell this was the truth, so she asked Philistines to give her one more chance. They came as they had all the other times, but this time they brought Delilah's money along with them. Samson fell asleep on Delilah's lap, so she got someone else to shave off his hair. As they were shaving it off, Samson's body began to get weaker. When it was completed, Delilah called out, "Samson, the Philistines are coming." As he woke, he was not aware that his gift from God had left him, and the Philistines grabbed him. This time, Samson could do nothing to fight them off. The Philistines had captured Samson, but his hair began to grow again. God still had plans for him. In the end, Samson regained his strength before they could kill him. They tied him up to two large pillars that held a large temple up, and he was able to break free. But when he did, the temple fell on him, and a large number of Philistines. This was how God freed the Israelites from the Philistines. Samson ended up breaking all his oaths. He did not seem to take God's rules for him seriously. God still used Samson to defeat the Philistines, but he could have done so much more if he had obeyed. God made each of us for a reason too. He made each of you exactly how He wanted. And remember, God does not make mistakes. You have the family you do because that's who God wanted you to be with. You live where you do because that's where God put you. Your life might not be perfect, but He wants you to learn and grow with what you have. God bless you, my kids.